Hello and welcome to another episode of the Making Theater podcast from MTV Arts and the Alcove Dinner Theater. I'm your host, Ian Ernsberger, and on today's episode, we have another top 10 list for you. Now, last time we did one of these, we did our top 10 favorite musicals, and the follow-up episode of that will be coming to you soon. But on today's show, our top 10 list features the top 10 favorite musical female roles. So let's get started, shall we? Thank you all for joining me. So, who do I have here? I have Hannah, Frye. You probably know her from some shows that we've done. I'm not going to name them because I don't want people getting egos here.
No,
we're all here. We have Jocelyn Bates. She's done some shows as well. I'm not going to name drop any names that shows that she's done. We have Chloe and or Chol Skillman.
Or Chol.
She's also been in some shows. I am Ian. I have been in many different shows. Lord Farquaad in Shrek. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to name drop any shows. No, I'm just kidding. So yes, the idea for this is we are doing top 10 female musical roles. This was kind of a fun list for me to make because I don't go for sappiness. A lot of those ones are probably on my least favorite. I don't like the pretty songs. I don't like all of that stuff. I like fun characters. I like, strong, independent women characters. Yeah, I know. I even say in the intro to this, I was like, I wonder how much side-eye, the audio equivalent of side-eye, I'm going to get for some of this. Because I am outnumbered 3 girls to just me.
Oh, no.
Little old me.
Oh, no.
And I was telling them this before. We are going to go, Hannah, we're going to go, basically, we're all going to do our top 10, like our 10s. Then we'll go around to our 9s and 8s and just keep going up to number 1.
I don't have them in any particular order because musicals to me are like children, and unlike my parents, I can't choose a favorite.
It is true. I mean, some of these are probably higher if I really kind of consider them, but I just was like, this is one I've always liked, so they kind of were higher or a little lower.
Right. Yeah, I think I would really just stress myself out if I tried to spend actual time ordering these. I'd be like, wait, I love this character for this reason, but I love this one even more. I just end up stressing myself out about it.
And see, that's why I wanted to break them up into male and female roles.
Yeah.
Because
I can't imagine
top 10 roles,
overall.
You'd be sitting there going, wait. Because there's some good roles here for both. How am I supposed to decide that?
Yeah.
I did that it's really hard for me to do that for villain songs because I was like, man, there's a good villain female and good villain male. But there's a lot of characters that I'm just like, no, this one's in there. Sorry. So it is a little more guy heavy, but I do have a couple of girl songs. I'm just like, yeah, it's a great villain song for one.
Mm-hmm.
So who would actually like to start off with their number 10? I, as host, would like to go last.
Of course.
And yes, this is just kind of fun where when we tell it, we can kind of say why we think it is and, make fun of each other or kind of agree or disagree or...
I guess I'm the only one that actually did my homework and filled out the whole list, so...
Hey, I have some of it.
Well, see, but funny thing is, though, I thought I had already done it. Yeah, I thought I had already done it.
Nice.
And I had not. Because I worded it differently in my little notebook. So that threw me off. I was like, oh, I have not done that. It does not have a little dot next to it. Well, since...
So I lost the silent nose goes, so I guess that means I'm going first.
We were doing a silent nose goes? I was going to make you go first anyway because you were like, I've done all my homework. So we will start with Jocelyn. What is your number 10 favorite female musical role?
I put Anya from Anastasia. I love Anastasia, and that animated film, I used to watch it every Christmas when it come on TV, and I loved Anastasia, and years and years I even thought she was a Disney princess. I was like, Anastasia's my favorite Disney princess. Yeah. Everyone's like, that's where you're wrong. She's not. But
now she is.
Yeah, now she is.
Yeah.
And I got really excited about that. But when that cast album dropped, I don't know that I've ever gotten more excited for a cast album than that one. And just the way they expanded on her character for the Broadway show was
Agreed.
just Love her.
But I do like that one because when I was an okay fan of the movie, but that's why I wanted to do this with girls too, especially women, because I know Kate loves Anastasia.
Oh, love.
We were supposed to go see it when it toured, but then COVID hit. But yeah, so I like that. Let's go with Chloe on this one. Let's see what Chloe has for
Oh boy. Hopefully my brother doesn't barge in anymore. For number 10, I have Maria from The Sound of Music, because I love this show and I love her and her songs and like what the story concept is and everything. But at some points, I just kind of like it's dragging, and she's someone who I'd play and I'd try to play. Probably get told I couldn't play her, but I'd try. But at points in that show, it really just drags, and you're like, okay, I get it. Let's go. We're going up a mountain. Cool.
We have to climb them all, I
I've said
guess?
before, I don't know that I've ever sat through that entire movie. I've seen every little bit of it, and I've kind of mashed it all together with what I've seen, but I've never sat down and watched it.
The movie is a lot better than the stage show. I will say that.
The
I've
stage
been in
show
the
is
That's
really
disappointing
hard
because I can't even get through the movie.
The movie, just the wedding scene is just gorgeous to look at visually.
Yeah,
It is
that's
long
true.
movie.
I was in that show my 8th grade year, and it was just that was the second musical I'd ever been in my entire life, and it was just dragging on and on. I was like, okay, can I go home now?
Yeah, I was a party goer and a Nazi, I think, when we did it here, and that was 20 years ago, and it was pretty boring.
When I did it, I
was
played
pretty boring.
Brigida.
I was like, this is boring. But yeah, so that's nice because it's your number 10. So it's not like the best one on there, but you're like, I still like the part. All right, Hannah, what is your number 10?
Oh, that is a good question. I mean, out of the list that I've got, number 10 would probably be any one of the Dynamos from Mamma Mia.
Okay.
I love that show. And I mean, yeah, right now I'm more suited to play Sophie, but I just absolutely love the Dynamos, especially Tanya. Like, she's just so sassy and I love it.
Yeah, I that's the only part of the movie and or show that I like are the are her friends.
Yeah.
Because there might be a couple of people on my list from some shows already mentioned.
Yeah, same.
On my other list.
Yeah, same.
I can't guarantee, I can't confirm, nor deny.
I have like 2 on my least favorite list right now.
Oh, no.
So
I'm just listen and come up with them as I go, I guess. I don't know.
But that's a good choice though, because those are very nice roles for women, especially as comedic roles and supporting roles. So because you kind of get caught up in some other stuff, but they're the ones that you're always kind of gravitate towards to watch.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So my number 10, I'm gonna cheat because it's my show. But it's two people. It's Elphaba and Glinda are my 10 because it's kind of a package. You can't really rate one above the other because they're both very strong parts. They're both a lot of fun. They both get great songs. Obviously Elphaba has more of the like emotional range for the character, but I mean, just they're both really great parts.
I mean, to a point, Glinda does too. I mean, you really see her character grow and change throughout the show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's
a little bit of a softer transition for Glinda.
Yeah, it's harsher for her.
It's not so angsty and harsh like it is for Elphaba.
It's not like all of a sudden Glinda's going, look at me, I'm going to fly in the air and go at the end of the song.
and defy everything I've ever known. Yeah.
It is. And I'm glad I got to see the show. So I think that helped me appreciate the show more.
Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan. Like I always liked Kristen Chenoweth. I always liked the song Popular until every girl started singing it at auditions. Then that got old. But that's my number 10. That's I'm an old softie for that.
I saw that in Columbus a few years ago on tour, and I literally nonstop cried the entire time.
Oh, same. I saw
Gravity. My sister and I went down to the bathroom and I was like still crying and she looks at me, she's like, you need to calm down. I'm like, I can't, I just love this show.
I read the book. I enjoyed the book.
Too.
I'd like to read the other ones in it.
Oh yeah, the other ones are great. I've read all of them. They're so great.
And Kate's seen it 3 times, I think she said. So that's my number 10. So number 9 for little Jay Bates over there.
My number 9 was Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I feel like she's like really, that show's really underrated and not enough people give it enough attention, and the cast is so good, and she's just a powerhouse character that, I mean, the show like needs a revival ASAP. And it needs more attention. Like, she's such a powerful character, such a strong character, and it's such a demanding role too that like she's up there.
I think it was just, it's not mainstream enough for people. You know, like the
Not
music,
out there.
there's not enough catchiness to the music, and
And that's
the
kind
subject
of
matter
what I liked
itself.
about it.
So it's a hard sell to put in, you know, because it's like, how can you do that as a summer musical, or how can you do that in you know,
well, I feel like it would make a really cool dinner theater.
Oh, for sure.
Just with the style of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to see it eventually developed into that, even though Ian looks like he doesn't want it to see it developed into that.
I just don't know how you sell it. That's the only thing. But it does have some pretty good songs, and it does have some pretty good characters, and it is kind of like one that it's almost like Heathers and Carrie, where more people started doing it and people started appreciating it. So maybe we'll see kind of that happen, because I know people do listen to that soundtrack a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those. It's like it's a cult hit.
Yes, definitely.
For sure.
All right. So how about you, Chol?
I had any of the girls from the Queens of Six show. Because I love that show. I love all the music. And I love like how all of them fit into that. They've all married the same guy, but they've all got different things that happen, but they all complement each other.
Yeah, and you really can't pick a favorite in that show.
You can't.
It sucks that COVID hit, because that was probably going to just be a huge show here.
And I think it still will be. I think it's still got its extreme following even after COVID.
I heard that.
I think it's gonna blow up.
I heard that a while ago, like when it was, you know, it was like the concept album more. I think that's when I heard it. And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it was just such a cool concept that I don't even know how you just
you
read about the 6 wives of Henry VIII and say, let's make a musical about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly. And that's what I like about it. You're just like, wow, that's who would think that? And then when you do, you go, oh, that's a cool way to do it, because you could have all the period costumes and all that.
And it's a one act, isn't it?
I think so. I think
they're on stage all the time. All of them. Yeah.
But it's just, you could do all of that, but I think that would like take away that appeal. Everyone would be like, oh, it's a period piece, it's this.
Yeah.
But then you see pictures of it and you're like, what is this? I want to see this.
Yeah.
Catch my attention. So yeah, I like that one. I definitely did not think of that one.
Yeah, me neither. And now I'm kind of mad that I didn't put that on my list.
Yeah.
But there's nobody that I can bump at this point. There's no one I can bump.
You've been shold.
You've been shold.
All right. So Hannah, what is your number 9?
Wow, I don't get a cool nickname? Wow, I'm hurt.
Hannah. So Frye Dog, what is your number 9?
Again, it's really impossible to put these into any specific list. I'd probably have to go with Campbell from Bring It On.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know that one.
That is
I knew that was going to be on there somewhere.
Honestly, all the female
Redheaded
roles
stepchild?
are just like so powerful. I love it. I want to be in that show so bad. I'm really mad because Danville did that show literally the year after I graduated. I was like, come on, guys. Yeah,
that's an interesting one. I have listened to the music. I remember watching the Tonys of it, and I can quote about 75% of that movie. I love that movie. I absolutely love Bring It On, but I've never liked the show. But
well, the show kind of combines two of the Bring It Ons because, like it doesn't follow any one of the specific ones. Because there's like 5 out there now. I think one just came out again.
Yeah, too many.
Something like that. But yeah.
That's an interesting choice. I love all the gymnastics and stuff in that because that's just impressive. I can't do it.
Oh yeah.
I did
it briefly, and my job was literally just to hold the girl up with my hand. That's all I had to do. She sat on my hand, and that's all I had to do. And I did that for about a hot minute. My number 9 is Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors.
Nice.
Because she's a ditz, but she's not. She's got heart to her. She's not cruel. She's stronger than she thinks she is. She just has to have someone, help her. But yeah, that's my number 9 is Audrey. I've always liked that character. I've always found her, even when she does like the silly lines and everything, you can always see that there's such honesty behind everything and such genuineness. There's no, out of everyone in that show who just always has these kind of falseness to them, she doesn't. She never really kind of sways from her place in the world. I don't know. So yeah, that's my number 9. All right, moving on. Number 8. What is your number 8, Gibbets?
Velma Kelly from Chicago.
Yes.
Such a powerhouse of a woman. Love her.
She might make an appearance somewhere on my list.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, she love her. And I actually, as terrible as this may make me of a thespian here, I actually just listened or saw Chicago, the movie, for the first time 3 months ago. That was my first COVID movie that I watched.
That's the best of the adapted movies.
I know, and I watched it. I was like, where has this where have I been?
Yeah.
Why have I not seen this? And fell in love with the music right away. Fell in love with all the characters. And yeah, I want to do that show so bad.
Yeah.
And we will. And yeah. Fell in love with Velma. She's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I do really like Chicago, and I like the character of Velma Kelly.
Oh yeah.
All right, Chloe. What is your number 8? Can you impress me for a second time?
Probably not. My number 8 is Rizzo from Grease.
I did not put Rizzo on my list. And I regret that because
I'm really mad that she didn't make. How did I not think that? I just watched it. I'm so mad. You literally are winning, Chloe.
You're winning the top 10 so far because
I'm so mad I missed her.
Dang it. So why did you put her on your list?
Because when you think of when other people think of Grease, they obviously think of Sandy and all of that. But when I was first introduced to Grease, I focused on Rizzo because I was like, that's the character I want to play if I'm in Grease. I was like, she is the powerhouse character. She is the one that's I don't care what you say or what you do. I'm doing it my way, which is how I've taken a lot of my shows, and it has gotten me in trouble. But
that was taking most of my life.
That's that.
But yeah.
That might be that. Her song is probably in my top 10 favorite songs. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I love her song.
Yeah, that's dang it. Why did I not do that? Okay, so you had Rizzo. That's a good.
That's a great one.
That's a good number 8. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm impressed because I did not have that on my list. So Hannah, what is your number 8?
Probably maybe Anya again from Anastasia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a crossover.
Literally on my least favorite list.
Really?
Oh no.
Bro, how?
I don't like that show at all.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So when I was in 7th grade, that was the first ever time that I ever did theater myself, as an actress. And I remember we were doing Beauty and the Beast, and I was a little plate, and I had this gigantic backpack of a plate on my back. And I was sitting backstage, and I was talking with one of my castmates, and I was like, oh my gosh, we should do Anastasia next year because, I was a new little theater kid and didn't know how shows worked at all. Yeah, that's a movie musical. We can definitely do that. So I had been dreaming about doing that show, and then finally it became a show, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how did this is happening? And so I'm like just super pumped for it, and I literally just sang Journey to the Past in the shower this morning. I was
I have to hear a lot of that.
Yeah.
And Kate kills that song though, so
Oh my gosh.
She does.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely kills it.
That's a good part for her, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it me? I don't.
Yeah,
so
it's
much
you.
has happened.
It's you.
There's been a
It's
lot
you.
going on. My number 8 is a new one to this list, actually, to like the show wise. It's actually Persephone from Hadestown.
Oh, yes.
Town is amazing.
Yes.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to direct it. I can't wait to never be in it because I can't sing that well, or that deep, or yeah. But her character is. Now, I will say the woman who played it on Broadway very much thought she was going to win a Tony.
She was robbed.
So
robbed.
So her facial expressions after she was not the winner, yeah, you could kind of tell that she wasn't very happy. But other than that, the character is amazing. The character is fun. She's dark. She's got great songs. It's just, there's something about that. There's something about that show. That show's like in Aaron's top 5, I think. And
that show's got to be in my top 5.
He's never seen it. I played the music for him as we were driving to Origin last year, and he hasn't stopped listening to it, I think, since.
Oh, I love everything about it. Just even like the visuals that the soundtrack like puts there for you. Like I feel like yes, I would love to see it, but I almost feel like I don't have to because of I would love to see all the effects and everything, but like as for the story playing out, the soundtrack just such a
swing the lights.
It's so good. Everything about that
swing
show
the
is
hanging
so
lights.
good. I love it.
I get really giddy when I see that. Like Kate has actually watched me go, hey, swinging the lights, and like, hold on to them. It's sad. All right, so number 7, Jocelyn.
My number 7. I'm gonna get some heat for this one. Mimi from Rent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you giving us me?
She's my number 7 too.
Whoa,
Oh, nice.
You can't just jump ahead.
Nice.
But we have a crossover. So I will allow it.
All right.
So both of you can say why it is your number 7, Chloe.
Yeah.
Jocelyn.
I just love I love that show, and I just love her energy. I just love her she's trying to grow up, but she's trying to be independent, grow up herself, but you can still tell she's just still so youthful and so still childlike in like this big city that she's trying to make it in and just try and get by. And I don't know, I just something about her character I just really, really love.
She's just really willful, but it's like in a good way. It's not in the bad way that some characters have it. She's trying to grow up and trying to move on and see everything, but at the same time she's holding back and is like, I'm still going to have the childhood that I'm holding on to, but here's me growing up and moving on at the same time.
Yeah.
I saw the show live. I've seen it at Octa, which was good, and I saw it live, and it was all the understudies. Every single one of them were the understudies because like the whole cast got sick. And I saw it at the Renaissance, and it was really good. We all met them afterwards as they were eating upstairs, and it's a really good show. A lot of people don't like it. It is a little dated now, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. But I do like the character of out of most of the characters in that show. I do like Mimi, and I do like not Angel, but the other one.
Collins?
Yeah.
Collins. I like him because I love his songs. And when he sings Cover You, that makes me cry.
Oh, yeah.
So that's also going to be a top 10 list of songs that make you cry.
Nice.
So, but that one will. But yeah, I do like Mimi. I don't like the convoluted ending of that where she just like.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the end. I feel like the ending is really rushed for how deep the rest of the show is. Yeah, and it's just kind of like, oh, she died, but look, she's fine, happily ever after. But you're all gonna die in 2 years.
We're done.
Pretty
much. The guy that wrote the show died before he finished it.
Yeah.
Right as it opened, essentially.
He'd finished it. It was right as it was opening. Yeah, Jonathan Larson.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I just feel like the ending's kind of rushed, but like, and kind
I
of
think
just
they wanted a happy ending.
Yeah, it just doesn't do justice for.
It's not really happy, but it is.
Yeah.
Well, since we had a crossover between Jocelyn and Chloe, Hannah Dog, H Dog. I don't H to the Izzle. I don't know. H to the Fizzle because it's an F. I don't know. Hannah, what is your number 7?
Probably Audrey from Little Shop. That I never actually had heard of or like listened to or anything that show until my junior year of high school when we did it. Like I'd never heard of it. I was so sheltered as a little theater kid, and then I found that show, and we started watching it to kind of get an idea of what we would be doing for auditions. And I went up to my director. I was like, "Is there a different female role I can audition for?" Because at first I didn't like her because we were watching the movie, and sorry, but I do not like Ellen Green as Audrey. She's the original.
You're gonna kill him. You're gonna kill him.
Stand her.
She's done it for 35 years, almost 40 years.
She's so bad about it, but I do not like her portrayal of that character. I don't know what it is. It's just
she played it. What was nice is she played it to the 50s horror movie version, and it worked.
Right.
I think a lot of people now, and that's why I very much do not like the one that has Jonathan Groff in it.
I don't either, and I
like Christian Borle in it.
That's the only good part of it to me.
Version.
And yeah, I gave you my 2 cents on that one. When it came out with the cast album, as soon as I came out, I was like, dude.
I listened to it the night of.
Yeah, same. And I was like, it was such a letdown. Yeah.
But no, yeah, I ended up auditioning for that role, and I got it. And like just throughout that process, I just absolutely fell in love with the character, and it's just always had a special place in my heart since then. Like I can never, anytime someone asks me, "Oh, what's your favorite musical?" I mean, obviously I can't tell them because I literally can't choose. But that one always has just like that special place in my heart where I'm like, if I had to choose one, it would probably be Little Shop. It's just, I just love it so much.
That is my number 1 favorite musical. Nobody had to. Everyone was like, "Really?" Like we already knew. When we did the top 10, there were a couple that I left off, and Kate was like, "You left that off," and I'm like, "Yeah." Now that I think about it, I did leave that off. Yes, that seems very stupid of me that I would put this above that. But again, I was rewriting it.
Over with this, I'm going to have ones that are like, "Oh man, I should have said that," or whatever.
Exactly, but that's good. That means there's always options. So my number 7 is another fairly new show, and it is Hamilton. It's the Angelica.
Yeah.
Because of that song alone, the Satisfied song alone is just like. It's just good. It's just good.
It's just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean, she does those. She basically does the 2 songs back to back with "Helpless" into that, and it's a strong woman plus the Schuyler sister song. There's something about the more I didn't appreciate it as much until I saw it on stage. I like the songs, I like the character and everything, but then when I saw it in Chicago, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
Now I get it.
Yeah. And then when I saw it through Disney Plus, I was like, now I'm closer. I'm right there. And I'm like, okay, now she's even cooler because I'm right.
Yeah. I was a part of the whole like 2016 Hamilton wave where it was just like, oh my gosh, this show. And learned every word and just fell in love with the show. And that kind of died off until it came out on Disney Plus, and just actually getting to see it because I didn't get this. I've never seen it live, and so getting to see that too. Yeah, you gain a whole new respect for those characters.
Yeah, she's
especially hers because so much of like her facial expressions and her emotions aren't conveyed through the cast album. Yeah, and so just getting to see all that was Yeah,
the other 2, because she gets to sing. What is it? Say No to This. And that's a good character, but then as Peggy, she's just Peggy.
Right.
And then, Elizabeth gets to sing Burn and a couple of stuff, but she's just you know who the stronger of the three characters is going to be. And I mean, yes, she sings the crap out of Byrne, but it's just you're not going to be able to compare to Angelica.
Yeah, and I feel like Eliza has more of like a silent strength to her. Yes. Like an inner strength, whereas Angelica is just kind of out there, right in your face, showing it. Like, hey, look at me, I'm this big, powerful woman, kind of thing. Yeah.
All right. Hey, look at that. We're at number 6. We're not halfway there, but we're almost. So if there's another crossover, it'll help.
Yeah, true.
So far, you crossed over with me with the Audrey, so that's nice. Other than that, we've only had you two with
Mimi and Anya.
With Mimi and Anya, so not bad. So Jocelyn, what is your number 6?
Catherine from Newsies.
I thought that would be higher.
Yeah, well, there's some that I wanted her to be higher, but then there's other roles that I'm like, okay, I want this to be higher. Like if I could do double some of them up, then she would definitely be a lot higher. But
she's my number 6 too.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Go Chloe.
This is easy. We're going to whip right through this list.
This is why you put Joss and I together.
Yeah. It's like we've had these conversations before. Yeah.
You think.
Well, you didn't know they'd be the same number.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
That's fair.
No,
why is it for both of you? Why is that?
Well, she's such a spunky character and such a strong character too. And I love tap dancing. I've done it for a few years and stuff. And like her King of New York tap, everything like that makes me very happy in that. And she's just because she's the one crucial female role in this whole entire cast of male dancers, male singers, and like the Newsy boys, she really just stands out, and she does a really good job of holding her own. And I've always loved that character.
Yeah, that's I have nothing to do with the tap dance because we all know I cannot dance. But that's why I'm given roles that don't move.
I'm right there with you.
But if you really pay attention, like if you look at it from the unfortunate side that we have to watch shows where we can pick through it and not just sit down and watch it, you see that she really is, like, she's attacked for being a female wanting to write. So then she's like, I'm just going to show you what I can do. This is and I'm just going to do it. And that's it. Definitely with me having like, for being in theater and like getting bullied for being in theater and like all that stuff, watching her be like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Then I was like, I'm gonna join MTV Arts and y'all can screw off.
Wow, I'm really glad I gave my explanation first because there's no way I could follow. Like, I'm really glad I just gave my reasoning there first because Chloe's just gotta show me up every time.
I'm not.
She's like one of those like really empowering female roles.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it is, and it is a very good role. It's sad though because to me, I'm not gonna lie, I still love the crappy like 1992 movie just because I was 9 when I saw it. So, and I was like, it's the guy from Doogie Howser in it. And I was like, I was like, this is fun, and look at me. I mean, I would sit there and sing King of New York and the opening number, to my grandparents and my cousins and everything, and I'd make them do Newsies the show. So I know, right?
She's just definitely one of those roles that like you watch as a kid and it's like, all right, if I just put my mind to something, it's gonna happen. Or like, especially with, I mean, now not as much, but like if you look back, theater wasn't something everyone was just like out and proud, like it's what I do. Yeah. But especially like I never would have done Little Mermaid if I wouldn't have seen all of these like empowering like theater women in theater being like, just do it. She's
a very inspiring role.
And I think that's what Newsies needed when they adapted it. It needed a strong female because there really wasn't. There was like, hey, look, it's Jack's girlfriend.
Yeah, and now she's kind of like, girl. Oh look, and then it's Catherine's boyfriend now. It's a million miles per
hour too.
Yeah, it needed something.
Yeah,
that's a good choice though. That's a good choice. I did not put that on.
Boom. 3 for 3. Boom.
All right, Hannah, what is your number 6?
I think I'm gonna go with Heather Chandler from Heathers.
Nice.
I knew that was going to be on there too. Oh, yeah.
Well, I actually have 2 from Heathers on here, and then I think like my top 4 are gonna be like from Mean Girls because I am in, like, a huge Mean Girls kick right now.
Both of those shows are really good, and the nice thing is, like, Mean Girls was seen as the modern day Heathers.
Right, exactly.
You know, so it's really neat that both of those shows, Heathers has always kind of been the musical and the movie have both kind of just been this, you know, cult, unsung, like, show that everybody's like, wow, have you not seen this? This is amazing. You have to watch this, both the movie and the musical. And I've actually, it's funny, I've never actually watched Mean Girls. I've seen Heathers, never seen Mean Girls, but I like the music. I think a lot of it's fun. I mean, the Karen bit is probably the funniest line ever
I love her.
heard in a musical. But it's a good show, and it's nice that we can have those kind of shows like Heathers, even though it's, you know, about girls being mean to one another. Yeah, it's also nice to see though that they all kind of get their comeuppance. Yeah, and have to get, you know, I think in Heathers they like murder them, but it's still fun.
Yeah. I think I'm just more drawn to those kind of shows just because, like, I am a belter. So, like, that entire show, especially Mean Girls, a little bit more so than Heathers. Yeah. It's just, like, so chock full of just powerful belting. And it's just, I love it so much. But
yeah, I think Erin Hollabaugh was one of the Heathers.
She was Veronica.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good choice, though, because it's a show that grows on me more when I listen to it, because I'm just kind of like, this is fun. I don't, you know, I'm not going to be in it, but it's a fun show. Like, it's like,
right. You never know. You could.
You know, if they need me for something.
Starring Ian as Heather Chandler.
Yeah.
No, Ian would totally be McNamara.
Not a clue.
I can see it.
So my number 6 is Eliza Doolittle from My Fair Lady.
I have not actually seen that.
I went a little, wow.
I have not seen that.
You've never seen My Fair Lady?
No, my mom's going to kill me.
I love My Fair Lady.
It's her favorite show.
I love My Fair Lady. I would love to do that show, strangely enough, with Aaron and Kate as Eliza and Henry Higgins. Mm-hmm. And I'd be weird, but I'd play the dad. I don't really, but I play the dad just because it's like a dream role of mine. Yeah. So, but that's how I would do that. I would love to play that part, and I love Eliza. I've just always liked that part. I like that she doesn't take anybody's crap. She doesn't hide who she is, even though she is changed. But it's more the way that she presents herself, but her heart is always still who she is. So I don't know. I've always liked her. I've always liked the scene at the races where she's there and she's with all the hoity-toity people, and then she tells the horse to move her bloomin' arse, and I just think that's just so great, because it's just like, well, you know, you can't change her. You know, she is who she is, but she's gotta love her. Mm-hmm. So that's my number 6. But we have reached number 5. We've reached the halfway point.
Good job, guys.
So what's your number 5, Jocelyn?
My number 5 is Eurydice from Hadestown.
Oh, really?
I love Eurydice. And I love Eva Noblezada. I loved her in Miss Saigon. I've loved her with everything that she does. Yeah. And for her to finally, like, she got a lot of attention for Miss Saigon, but for her to, like, had this big breakout, originate this role. Yes. And I mean, I hate to say this, but not be under Leah Salonga's shadow for,
yeah,
you know, this role. But the character, I love every single character in that show, and I would play any of them, but Eurydice definitely. Such an interesting development from the old Greek myth, like, because I used to read a bunch of Greek mythology and stuff, and to read that story and then see the character that they decided to make out of that and the person they decided to develop out of that was really, really cool, and that show's definitely in the top 5 for me. And I almost put Persephone in place of her, but
all right. So Chloe, is it the same? It's not the same. All right. Well, we're back to disappointment again.
Yeah, we knew we'd get
far in my life.
We were doing so good, and then.
My number 5 is Tracy from Hairspray.
Oh, I love Tracy. Good call. I did not put her on my list, but I love Tracy Turnblad.
Jocelyn and I are making the same face.
Whoa. All right, so you defend yourself, Chloe. I will back you up.
Oh my God,
against these very wrong people on their opinions.
I was gonna have some really mad people by the end of this podcast tonight.
I mean, you have to admit, Hairspray as its own is just a really fun,
it's a
upbeat show. Like it has in its meaning. There's a lot of like, here's a serious thing that's happening in society, and we'll look at it. But here's a upbeat way of looking at it, so it's not like, woe is me, sad, like some shows go towards. And it shows that like bigger actresses can also be in the spotlight. And I'm like, yes, because I'm a bigger actress. So and I just love the song Good Morning Baltimore. It is just, I love when she sings that song.
Yeah, it's a fun and tongue-in-cheek song. But even stuff like this, when she finally comes out with "You Can't Stop the Beat,"
yes,
and with the dance off, she's always there. And when I can hear the bells. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute and fun, and you're just like, I want her to have the boy that popular.
I want her to hear the bells.
I want her to have the guy. All right, so Hannah, even though you were wrong about the previous one,
let me preface. I don't hate her. I don't think there's any musical out there that I necessarily hate. It would probably take me a long while to find one that I really hate.
Oh,
but I'm just not a fan. I like other female roles in that show.
Yeah. All right. So what is your number 5?
Probably sticking to the Heathers, keeping all of those ones together. Probably Veronica.
Okay.
Just a little bit more above Heather Chandler for me, just because she's got a little bit more to do in that show. And she has a little bit more variety in what she does, and just more power ballads again, like just belting out.
Nice. I do. I like that show. I think it's a fun little show. It's a fun little cult show.
Play Veronica, but I still very much appreciate that character.
I appreciate her existence. Thank you.
Yeah, like I would love to sing all the songs, but I don't know. It would depend for me.
All right, you kind of hurt me there, because I did my top 5 and I left people off. So I'm going to cheat again, because, again, it's my show.
Sure show.
So my number 5 is I'm going to do a tie and also a crossover with Velma Kelly from Chicago, because she actually was my legit number 5. And I'm going to add in Anya from Anastasia, because I do very much like her character. Because she gets to be funny. She gets to
get out, Chloe.
Sing sweet songs. Oh, don't worry. I'll probably catch crap when we get to the least favorite.
Oh, I'm gonna catch so much. I'm kind of scared now.
Not...
But I do. I like her character, because a lot of characters like that can become one-dimensional, and I don't think she is.
Yeah.
Like other shows where you're just like, you're the ingenue, but you are just, that's it. Like we're not going to give you anything.
Right.
So, I like Anastasia. All right. So Jocelyn, we are now in the top 4. So this has to be even better. Like all of these from now on have to be like the greatest roles ever.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure you know some of these. Like I'm sure you can definitely predict some of these ones. My number 4 is Mrs. Lovett.
Aha!
Sweeney Todd.
Do it.
Yeah. Mrs. Lovett, especially like the first time me seeing it live was being in it. I loved Helena Bonham Carter playing her in the movie. Like even, and then like I loved her then, and then seeing how much she's expanded how much more there is to her in the stage adaptation. Like, love
Angela
love
Lansbury.
Yes, and yes.
So good.
Yeah, I want to play that role.
I did not like Patti
bad
LuPone.
way.
You would be.
I'm not a Patti LuPone fan.
I
don't like
her.
I didn't like
her. I really
Mrs.
don't
Lovett.
like her that much. Yeah, I want to play that role.
You might see that on this list somewhere. So, Chloe, what is your number 4? Is it Anya from Anastasia?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It's Elphaba and Galinda.
Whoa. Are you cheating?
You said they're a package deal.
Are you
said they're a package deal.
They're a package deal.
They are a package deal. They are very much a package deal.
I even thought of that before you said that. Because really, you honestly can't separate them when you think of that show.
Right.
And
only reason that I would put Elphaba above Glinda is just my personal preference for styling of singing. That's the only reason.
What I was going to say. She's
as my grandma says, he's the loud one. Because she's in those what is it, Geico commercial or all? So she's in a commercial.
Yeah.
And my grandma hates it. We were like, it's not really like she does sing like that, but it's kind of a caricature of herself singing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely, I would pick Elphaba above her a little bit because I'm a belter, so I go with that style of singing more, and obviously my voice teacher put Defying Gritty in my songbook for auditions, and it was one of the first musicals I saw on Broadway in New York, and like Hannah, I just cried the whole time.
Oh, same.
It just before the curtains even opened, I was like,
"That's because you're Ian."
It was.
That's because you're Ian, and you were soulless.
That's because you did a podcast with That's because you did a podcast with 3 other girls.
I did.
We all
That's
cried.
okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. When I do the one with the guys for the male roles, I'll have Kate host.
There you go. Fun. Kate and baby host. Kate and baby can host.
Yeah, Kate and baby can host.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a good one. It just wasn't higher for me because.
Be careful.
I don't know why it wasn't higher for me. Who knows?
Because there's better ones.
Because I'm soulless and I'm a boy. I don't know.
For me, it's not higher because, it probably would be on my list of just favorite roles. But for me, I feel like it's very cliche, but that's not necessarily a bad thing,
Well, it's cliche for a reason. It's just that good that it got to that.
It's been around forever.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm getting more and more excited for the top 10 least favorite now.
Well, I would have put on my list, but I wanted to look at other characters that not many people maybe.
So Heathers and Mean Girls.
Yeah, I know, right?
I just did a generational gap from the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody likes, Wicked. There's very few people that hate it for a reason other than it's popular. Uh-huh.
Yeah. It was hard for me when I came up with a list to not. I know certain people know a lot of different musicals and just their repertoire. When they think of musicals, you're just like, what the hell show is that? I don't know what that is.
Right.
But I always, especially listeners or people who are maybe not theater people, they may have heard of the show Wicked, or they may have heard of the show, but they haven't seen it or they've never listened to it. I think more of those obscure shows are harder to get someone to listen to. That's what kind of sucks. So whenever you see these lists, you almost kind of always see the same things on them because it's just we're just trying to get you in the door first. We'll hit you with all the other stuff later,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sucks, but that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
All right. So Hannah, what is your number 4?
Probably Elle Woods from Legally Blonde.
Oh no!
Did you not?
No, it's right.
I did not put that on my list. And here's the thing: I love.
It's not on this list.
It's not on this list.
Oh no, it's not on this list.
For me? For me? No, I love that show. I love.
No, for us, for me and Chloe here. It's not on the good list.
Wow, really? Really?
I definitely have Legally Blonde on my but not. It's someone else. It's not.
Wow. So funny story. I saw that in 2001. I saw the movie. I was the only male in that theater. It was completely sold out. I was on a date and I was the only male in that theater. And I was laughing louder than most of the other people in the theater. And I was in the show in 2012. I was asked to do it just to be the teacher that lets her into Harvard. And then I understudied for Callahan.
Ooh.
And yeah, I would like to play Callahan.
I would have loved to see
You play
that.
such a good Callahan.
But I just understudied for it. But it's a fun show. It's just, and there are so many girls, and you're just looking and you're like, wow, where are you gonna? Because usually you're just like, wow, we got too many girls, and you look at this show and you go, are we gonna have enough for this? You know,
there's always enough girls in theater.
Yeah. So it's okay. So you tell me why it is you're on your list and it's not on mine.
Again, just because I love all those big, powerful, belty roles. And I mean, she's not like really big, but she has her moments, and it's like a softer belting style. Like, whereas you've got, Veronica and Heather in Heather's, they're more in your face, but she has more moments of like tenderness and softness to her. And I think she's just a very dynamic character, and I really like that. And it's just, she's got different ranges.
And I love the fact that it was like getting rid of that stereotypical blonde persona, like saying, and that's why and I always thought that was funny anyways, because, everyone made fun of blondes, and that started with Marilyn Monroe. They were like, well, she's sexy, but she's always ditzy. And everyone was like, no, she's not in real life, obviously. Right. But you saw, some of her songs coming in from the transition from the beginning of that show through the end, when she sings Legally Blonde, you're just like, okay, this is... And then she stands there and she's in the nice outfit and she's in there for the last day of the court. And you're like, all right, here we go. This is cool. Yeah. Very empowering.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I did not put her on my list.
I'm so ashamed.
I'm a little bit of myself too, because I do. Kate will. I know a lot of the words to that musical. Because I like the Ireland lady too. I love the hot UPS guy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's fun. I had a blast just coming out to go, Sanjeev Padamada. I had fun doing all of that.
Yeah, that's definitely a show that just kind of, it makes you forget things. Like most theater can do that, but this one's like fun. It deals with real problems, but not as hard-hitting ones.
Yeah.
So it's easier to kind of just forget about things when you're in the theater watching it.
I can't wait till we get to the least favorite and have to listen to these wrongers over here.
Yeah.
I told you. I have a Legally Blonde character on my like list. It's just not freaking Elle Woods.
Her character, if it's who I think it is, her character is also very good. All right, so my number 4 is Mary Poppins. From Mary Poppins, because I remember watching the movie when I was a kid. Movie's awesome. Julie Andrews awesome.
Oh yes.
The musical is a lot of fun. The magic that she can do, the lessons that she teaches, she don't take no crap either, which I think is really cool. And she's constantly teaching. She's constantly telling you things that kids should know and should have to know. But she's doing it in a fun way that you don't realize kind of that you're learning something from. So Mary Poppins has always been just, I love Mary Poppins, and being able to be Bert and watch her, you kind of get into that thing where you're just like, oh, it's Mary Poppins. Like, it's where she's flying down. She's coming down in the thing and she's flying. That's so cool. So there is you kind of regress to a kid. So I do very much like Mary Poppins, and the theory is correct. She is actually a Doctor Who Time Lord.
I agree with that.
Inside, and she doesn't. So just saying. So that's my number 4.
Yeah.
So mic drop. So number 3, Jocelyn Bates.
Yeah, if you know me, these last 3 are just incredibly predictable. My number 3 is the witch from Into the Woods. I mean, how do you not love the witch?
Yeah.
How do you not love that character? Such an iconic character. Bernadette Peters playing that role, man. Like, I mean, I love Meryl Streep and all, but
oh no, that's Bernadette. That's Bernadette.
She did not do that role justice, and that's a dream role to play for me.
Last Midnight, the beans and everything. Beans rap is just it's a lot.
The beans rap.
That's what they call it. The beans
rap. Yeah. No, I love that show, and yeah, definitely.
I think that was in my top 10 favorite shows.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good choice. I do like that. She's not on my list though.
Oh, sad.
I know. All right, Chloe, what is your number 3?
Miss Hannigan.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm definitely Miss Hannigan.
I'm kind of mad I didn't put her on my list.
Now, see, here's where I also went for some of these, because I know like future lists I want to do with people and things, is I wanted to do like villain roles. So I'm like, I don't want to put it on like my favorite roles, because if I'm going to put it on my villain roles.
And I've kind of put from my list like kind of roles that I like want to play, not ones that I have played, but because I've played her, like I love her, but she didn't make my list.
I haven't played any of these people.
Just I wonder why.
So Chloe, Miss Hannigan. Why do you like her?
It's just I like her. I mainly like her because she's a fun female villain role in most. If you look at most shows, the female is the softer, like everything's gonna be okay, but she's like, I'm gonna rip this head off this baby doll and give it to the child. And I just think that's so much fun, and you really get to take that character however you want it when you play it. And it's just so much fun. And it's been, if you watch like different versions of Annie, the show Annie is something else, but Miss Hannigan is great.
Yeah, just don't watch don't watch the one with Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Don't watch the Cameron Diaz one. You can watch the one with Christian Chenoweth and Alan Cummings and Kathy Bates. That one's
really
So Miss Hannigan. All right, Hannah, what is your number 3?
So I didn't actually write this on my list, but just talking through things, I kind of thought of it. It probably, if I went back through, wouldn't be as high on my list, but Eponine from Les Mis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Les Mis is one of the first musicals.
Only real good women characters in the show.
Yeah, pretty much. Although Miss Thenardier would be really fun.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I think that Les Mis was probably one of the first shows that I had seen as a kid, or like gotten into when I started kind of getting into the musical theater world. And it was like the style of her voice, and I just love Samantha Barks. I'm so happy that she played that role in the movie when they made it. Like I love Samantha Barks.
Me too. That's a good choice. Because it is one of the few female roles that are good at that. Yeah, because some character from that show might be on my next list.
Some character from that show is in my top 2.
Oh,
and I think it's the same character.
Yep.
So my number 3 is Fiona from Shrek. Because like she's literally like the alpha female, like she can hold her own in a fight. She burps, she farts. She does everything that's just like completely the antithesis of what we see as princesses, and I love that they did that. I know obviously from the musical, from the cartoon, we knew that anyway, but it's just like, but then she still has fears, she still has hopes, knowing that because she's a beautiful princess, but then she turns into an ugly ogre, in the full moon. And, then it's like, well, then she has to, like, is Shrek still going to love her? And I'm like, well, I don't know why you wouldn't think Shrek would love you, because you're literally an ogre.
Right.
He's an ogre. That's the only part that doesn't get me in the show. But I just like her character. She gets fun songs. The top of Act 2 tap dance song with the rat is fun. I Think I Got You Beat. The song that all 3 Fionas do.
Yes.
she's a great role. She's a fantastic role. So she is my number 3. Jocelyn, what's your number 2? What is? I think I know it.
Yeah, this is Fontaine from Les Mis.
Okay, see, yeah, all right. So now you're number 1, though. I'm a little all right. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I just love, like, as much as I love like any of the female roles in that show, Fontaine just holds a very special place because that's the only role that I could play in that show.
Oh, and you're done after 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Just go sit downstairs until you have to come back as an angel.
See, that's the part that, like, really, when she comes back and kind of just, comes back to repay Valjean for everything that he's done for her and kind of lead him to his salvation, kind of lead him to, on further. And that is just so good for me. And, like, anytime I watch the movie, I've seen it live twice, like, I'm crying the whole time. Like, it's inevitable the entire time. Yeah. I Dreamed a Dream is such a powerful song to me. And yeah,
it's a good role. It's a very good role.
She honestly doesn't have any bad qualities. Like the entire show, she's just trying to do what's best for her daughter, or just trying to do what she can to survive. Like, she doesn't have any ulterior motives or anything bad about her.
Well, and all of her struggle is even so selfless too, because she is struggling for her daughter. Exactly. She has the line that was like, if I wasn't trying to provide for my daughter, God would just let me die instead, kind of thing. Right. Like, she's got that whole thing where, she's living just for her daughter. And she's like one of the most genuine female roles in musical theater. Yeah.
Because she's so insanely selfless. Like,
but that's a very good role. Chloe, what is your number 2?
Enid Hoops.
We gotta say it like the show, where she's like, Enid Hoops.
Enid Hoops. I loved playing that role. I was really upset at the beginning, and Ian, you know that, because I was texting you and Kate very upset about it.
It's a good role.
Very upset about it. Well, because they were like, because this was the high school production of it. So at first, everything was cut out. All the fun was cut out until at the end we all brought it back in. And then they cut out all the fun, and then it came back in. And when they walked up to me, they didn't tell me her name at first, but they were like, "You are the lesbian." And I was like, "I'm the what?" I'm the what? They're like, "You are the lesbian feminazi." And I was like,
"Cool.
Fantastic." And then I was like, Ian.
It's a good role, though.
Yeah,
it is. You get to be in everything.
I love having to sing 1,000,000 miles per hour in Harvard variations. That was amazing.
You get to be in Blood in the Water. You get to be in Gayer European.
Gay European is such a fun song and just a fun scene.
Oh, now that I just thought of that, I'm going to have to redo my funny song list. Dang it.
Welcome.
And just her little, like, things throughout the show, like, when we're, like, on the case of, I can't think of her name.
Brooke.
Thank you. And, like, we're watching her workout tape or whatever, and everyone else leaves, but Enid stays back and turns back on and watches them jump rope. Like,
I think one of my favorite Enid moments, though, is when Elle says something about the Playboy bunny, whatever she says.
Yeah, they were like, what is it? Something about someone called someone a slut or something.
Yeah.
And Enid steps in and she's like, "I'm sorry, you did what?"
Favorite.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was on the show, and she said that they literally, like, chased her off the stage.
Oh yeah.
It was so funny.
It's a very good supporting role. It really is.
It's very underrated.
And everything. All right, Hannah, what's your number 2?
I think my number 2 and my number 1 are kind of, maybe, just because they're from the same show. But if I have to rank them, it'd probably be Regina George's number 2.
Oh, really?
Like, she doesn't have a whole lot of character to work with, at least in the beginning. Like, at the very end, she's like, "No, you own it. Like, don't apologize for being you," kind of thing. And it gives a nice turnaround, but there's not really a whole lot of emphasis on her change. But just the amount of power in her songs in general is just amazing, and I love it.
Well, and that just her entrance alone is just kind of like,
right?
oh, we
like,
know what we're getting into with this
role.
character.
Oh yeah.
Like, I want to play that because I never get to play like the big, powerful, like not necessarily evil, but like for all intents and purposes, yeah, she's kind of the bad guy in the show. But like, I never get to play the bad guy, and I want to play this role so bad. I would just like own it. I don't get that chance.
I want to play mean.
I want to be mean.
Like a literal mean girl. So my number 2, that's a good, I like that because I that's a guilty pleasure for me show, but I need to actually watch the movie now. Like I need to watch the movie. I think I've seen like 4 bits of that movie. So my number 2 is from the same show that Jocelyn had as her number, where she said the witch.
I was like, as her number.
You remember what your number was? What number was it?
Oh, that's my number 3.
Number 3? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but mine is a different character. So my number 2 is from Into the Woods, and it is the baker's wife.
Ooh,
because
interesting.
I love Joanna Gleason, who did it on Broadway. I want Kate and I to do that.
Yes.
I
will totally play the witch for your baker's wife, like 100%.
I very much want her and I to do that, though I would love to see her as Little Red as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So cute.
I know, right? But that, her character, you know, the song she gets to sing, the stuff she does with Cinderella, the stuff she does with Cinderella's prince, the stuff she does with the baker, It Takes Two. But then, you know, after her spoiler demise, the ghost of her singing the song is just like, like it's just so good and it's just so powerful. And, you know, Emily Blunt was very good.
I would agree. She was definitely like one of the highlights of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, she was very good. The Broadway show, because once she leaves him, it just shows how much power a woman has in a relationship when it comes to this, like the effect that happens if you lose that, you know, other half of you. And it can be the same thing with the man, but it's just something about it where that maternal instinct that, you know, we can never as men understand. There's obviously the paternal part, but there's still something extra with that maternal, and to have her, you know, sing to him, and, you know, he's holding the baby and she's right behind him, kind of crossing around. There's just something about him like, really.
Oh yeah.
It gives me
right
the feels, as the kids say. So that's my number 2 is the baker's wife from Into the Woods. So we have reached number 1. All right. So number 1, what is your number 1 top 10 favorite female role in a musical? Jocelyn.
My number 1 is Louisa from the Fantasticks.
Oh, that's who. I can never remember the name because I don't know the show well enough.
Yeah, that show.
Yeah, I don't know.
The first show I saw in New York, and I fell in love with that role. She's the only female in the show, and she's just like, she's the right amount of like kind of insane, but also like she's just a hopeless romantic, and something about her character that like that's definitely like a number 1 dream role for me. She's got such a fun range, and with her vocally and just her character, and to watch her character grow but still kind of hold on to how youthful and kind of ditzy she is. But I don't know, she's such a cool, and I feel like in this day and age a really underrated character, like not a lot of people, because it's such an old show.
It's been around forever.
It ran off Broadway for 40 years, and it's such an underrated character to me, and she's always just held a very, very special place for me, definitely.
Well, good. That's a good one. All right, Chloe, Joel, what's your number 1 favorite female role in a musical? It's Anya, isn't it? It's Anya from Anastasia.
no!
It's the sleeper. You didn't expect it.
Got me there.
She fooled us.
No, it's Nala.
Doc.
It's not because I played her, because I loved that role and the show before I even got that role, okay? Gotta throw that out there. Because I genuinely wasn't going to put it on this list at all, because I didn't know how Ian would react when I said that.
I feel about this.
Nala herself is just a very empowering, strong role, because she starts off as this little, like, just messing around, getting in trouble all the time, like doing literally whatever she wants around the Pride Lands with, come on, Shadowland is an amazing song.
So good.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you the amount of times I cried seeing that on Broadway.
And instead of being
that song
in the
alone.
movie, they decided to rewrite another song just
Can
for
you imagine
Beyonce.
how good Beyonce would have sounded singing that song? I mean,
No,
come
because Disney
on.
wanted
When I
another
found out they
Oscar,
were doing
and
that, I
it
was
didn't
so
get
mad.
it, did they? The Shadowlands is
yeah.
amazing, and
Oh,
it
so
it was Shadowlands was amazing, and you sang it very well. It was
So good.
fun to see, because I saw that show in Toronto, and it was such a good scene, and that's why I remembered it when we did it, and I was like, this is how I see it being staged. This is how I see the lights coming in and everything, and it's a good scene.
I remember when we were doing that, you like kicked everyone else out and took control of that scene. You're like, you're standing here. He was like, I don't care if you move from here to here, but you're starting here. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I really wanted that to be silhouetted and in the lights. I was just
it was so cool. And that just popped back up on my Snapchat memories from like the 3 years ago when I recorded you backstage singing that. So I'm like, okay,
God.
here, you can hear this because to show you actually sound really good. And oh my gosh, I get chills.
Me passing out before I went on stage the first night.
Oh, good memories.
Good.
I saw that show before I knew any of you or any MTV Arts people. I mean, I knew like Mark and maybe a few other people, but I didn't know any of you guys personally. And so I saw that show, and I remember just thinking like, oh my gosh, this chick's amazing. Like, no bias whatsoever. Like, yeah, you were amazing in that role.
Yeah. And it's nice because it really comes out of nowhere, because you do have this kind of independence with the character, but you also have the teen angst of the character too, you know?
Well, and she moves away from the Disney heroine because, you know, she's not the main character in the movie. And so you would expect her to be kind of just this little like, oh yeah, like Simba's
So
girl, you know.
Parts away and then starts singing that song, that the music starts and she starts singing, everyone's like, what's going on? Like,
It's also with that song, you don't, with that song, you don't think it's going to get as intense as it does in the second verse of that song, because it starts off, we're just doing the hymns and like everyone's singing, and then Nala steps forward and she's like, and just starts screaming, basically.
And it's really interesting because, especially for being in the junior version of it, that they would keep a song like that is pretty powerful. Yeah. It was like, for once, Disney as a group was going, nah, we're not going to sugarcoat this. Right now, this place sucks, you know, and she's got to figure out what to do. And apparently it's on her, you know, it's on this kid essentially to do. So yeah, that's a good, I like that one. That's a good number one. Hannah, what's your number one? What's your number one top 10?
Again, like all of these, it's so hard to choose one specific order. Like, I mean, like I said, they're like my children, and unlike my parents, I can't choose a favorite. But yeah, my quote unquote number one would probably be Janice from Mean Girls. Because you know, again, style of the music and all that. But just the character herself, she's just like so powerful. She has this insane stage presence, and she's got all these funny, witty moments where she's making jokes with Damien. And I would just love to have just a fun Damien alongside me if I ever played that role. And
Ian, how good would Graham from Coshocton be playing Damien?
Oh yeah.
That would be so good.
I would, yeah. That's a good number one because she is a good character in that. So my number one is also from a Sondheim show. My number one favorite role for a female is Mrs. Lovett.
Oh,
yes.
Because I really should make her like number one as a villain because oh my God, is she?
She is the villain in that show. Like, yeah, the judge is bad, crap. But like not cannibalism bad.
Yeah,
you know,
and not lying that literally your wife is still alive.
Right? Yeah, alive and well, and just lied about so many things. She's literally like, you don't even know who she actually is as a person because she is somebody else that entire show.
But that's why she's my number one because she has so many little things about her that you don't get to see. So many little hidden things about her.
Yeah, and it's like you don't even know what's really real about her and what's her just putting on this facade.
And the only person she cares about is the kid.
But does she?
I mean, you think she does. I kind of think she does.
And then she locks him in a cellar and leaves him there to go crazy. Like,
I mean, that's also pressuring from him to do it.
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's true.
But you just don't know. So there's so many layers to her. She's my favorite. She's gonna be my number one.
Yes.
So that was the top 10 favorite female roles in a musical.
It took an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was a little longer than I thought it would be, but that sometimes these are gonna take long. Because you are trying to you're trying to give your answers and tell why. Obviously you want people to kind of understand why they like it. And there you have it, our top 10 favorite musical female roles. I want to thank my guests again for joining me this week and sharing their lists. Be sure to check out our next episode because we are going to be doing our top 10 least favorite female roles in a musical. Will we have crossovers? Will there be the audio equivalent of side-eye from both my guests and myself? Who knows? But be sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Making Theater podcast from MTV Arts and the Alcove Dinner Theater. As always, I'm your host, Ian Ernsberger, and we'll see you on the next one. Please remember to like and share this podcast. And remember to follow us at MTV Arts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and the Alcove Dinner Theater under Bruce Jacklin and Company on Facebook and Instagram. Please feel free to comment on the post about the podcast and tell us what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and any kind of suggestions you might have for another podcast down the road.